Well, that wraps it up for Week in Geek. Let's do a little Darth Maul Shadow Lord episodes 1 and 2. If you haven't watched those episodes yet and don't want to be spoiled, thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Let's kick it over here to Andy to continue our Star Wars talk.
Alrighty then. So we've got more Shadow Lord. So as Lub said, if you don't want to hear any spoilers, you don't want to hear anything, you can leave the room. So Dave, feel free to wander about as much as you want. Yeah. But obviously, brand new animated show takes place a year after the episode of the event. Sorry, of Revenge of the Sith. And Maul is trying to put together and rebuild his criminal syndicate on a planet that so far has been, whilst it is under control of the Empire, it's not really been touched by the Empire at this point in time. So
it has Coruscant vibes.
Coruscant vibes.
The planet has Coruscant vibes.
Yeah, absolutely did, because when it first started, that opening sequence, it looks like it could be Coruscant, but obviously we find out that it's not. But yeah, the whole point of this is that Maul's putting together his criminal syndicate again. He's got a long-term plan where he wants to be able to use the syndicate to take control of the galaxy, whilst also simultaneously finding an apprentice and taking down Darth Sidious. So, opening sequence, we see obviously the Mandalorian Death Watch remnants that follow Maul, attacking a criminal syndicate, stealing all their credits, and then when it just looks like they're going to be cornered, Maul walks out the ship in all his glory, his double-ended lightsaber, Jewel of the Fates playing, and takes them all out. JD, hit me. What did you reckon to the start of this show?
Great start to the show. Love the horror vibes. I think that scene was awesome. Plenty of great Maul action, and I like the kind of drama they set up at the beginning. I like that Detective Lawson coming in, and he's like, well, who could have done this? Like, it's probably not one of the regular gangs. It's too clean, or they wouldn't want to start a turf war. So with the action and the story, I thought within the first couple scenes, I was already like, all right, good to go.
Yeah, I do like the police aspect. That's kind of a new thing. I haven't really got like much of the police in Star Wars. Maybe Andor a little bit, but I was more like the Empire police, like the kind of local sheriff in town kind of deal. But Star Wars, I do like that.
And they mentioned not bringing in ISB to keep the Empire,
right.
To keep the Empire out of the whole planet
down.
I mean, Dave, you saw the first half of the first episode, didn't you? So, what did you reckon to the opening scene?
Yeah, I liked it. I didn't get to the point where they said it wasn't Coruscant anymore, so I kind of thought it still was Coruscant. But I don't have much to say here, so this will probably be it. But I liked the feel to it right off the bat. I liked the score. The score itself, like that was the first thing as it's panning over the city, and it's almost got that tribal drum pump going on with the score rising, and it's setting the tone. I love the feel to it already, and then it was perfect. They act like they're giving up, and camera pans to the guys behind the guards, and there's Maul stepping off the ship. So even the sequences where it's just Maul talking, it's just Sam Witwer saying some lines as Maul. It's just so satisfying. So I did get to finish the first episode, but the first 10 minutes showed me, this is going to be enjoyable. Regardless of where they go, there's going to be some fun, enjoyable scenes in the show. Did you guys see the clip of Sam Witwer eating the apples to do the voice?
I mean, that was obviously a bit of a joke. He doesn't seriously keep. Basically, Dave, there was Star Wars Online shared a clip of basically behind the scenes, and Sam Witwer keeps a plate of like green apple slices next to him to nom on like in between scenes, and he's like, "Oh, this helps me do the Maul voice." So he's like, "I'm talking now. I'm Sam Witwer." Puts in a green apple slice, like, "Now I'm Maul."
Yeah, it's so sick though. It's so sick. Oh my god!
But we'll talk about the voice acting for a minute. Yeah, we'll talk about the voice acting before we get into anything else about the episodes, because this cast is stacked with video game people, with Star Wars people that have done lots of stuff before. Obviously, we know Sam Witwer as Maul. Obviously, Wagner Morik being Brandon Lawson, the cop. Richard Ayoade, who's already voiced Zero the droid in The Mandalorian. So he's been there before, and he's obviously famous in the UK, so we know him quite well. Vanessa Marshall, who voices Rook Cast, who's the head of the Death Watch. She voiced Hera in Star Wars Rebels, so we've already come across her before. Steve Blum, who voices Icarus, one of the Zabrek soldiers under Maul's command. Steve Blum voiced Zeb in Star Wars Rebels as well, as well as various other people.
Dave Filoni getting his voice back.
Yeah. Dennis Haysbert voicing Master Ikadio. Obviously, if you don't know Dennis Haysbert, you should do.
The Allstate guy.
Yeah, the president from 24, however you want to know him as, like lots
There
of
you
things.
go.
He was in Brooklyn 99, playing obviously a rogue FBI agent, which was a fun one for him. So lots of really cool voice actors in this, and even like the people that like Gideon Adlon, who's voicing Devon, the young Jedi apprentice. He's done loads of video game stuff. Chris, I'm going to butcher his surname now.
Oh.
Chris Diamantopoulos.
Don't pull on me.
He's done loads of stuff as well. So this voice cast is stacked. And the first episode, because episode 2, Sam Witwer just sinks into maybe the normal Maul voice. But that first episode, he like really heavily leaned on Maul's voice in every scene he did. I was talking on because this is like the third or fourth time I've covered Maul this week. So I was chatting to other shows about how like how Ian McDiarmid obviously had lots of theatre training. So you can see that in different bits when he's doing Palpatine, that he leans into it. So when he talks to Luke in episode 6, when he did Tragedy of Darth Plagueis, even when he comes up and voices Palpatine for that one episode of The Bad Batch, it's just filled with all of his theatre training. And Sam Witwer felt like he was doing this in episode 1. Just everything was slow and deliberate and elongated and just evil and oozing class at the same time. And it was just, I could have like slept and in that voice that night. It was so good. So yeah, this voice cast is just absolutely unreal. And I can't wait to see. And there's more stars to come later in the series as well. We're not even done with the big stars and big video game people coming in. So,
well, the guy who does all the clone voices too.
Clancy Brown's probably popping up. Oh,
well, Clancy Brown probably won't.
Wow, I can't think of his name now.
We mean Savage Press.
Oh yeah.
No. He's voiced 11th Brother before. Clancy Brown does a ton of voices in Star Wars. He's actually in Ahsoka. He's the governor or whatever the town that Sabine is in.
Oh yeah, that's from his character in Rebels that he voiced.
Right, exactly. So, but yeah, he's voiced 11th Brother a couple times in the past too. Who's going to be in this? But I didn't know Vanessa Marshall was doing Rook. I had no idea. So that's pretty cool.
Well, she voiced Rook in the Clone Wars anyway, and then obviously
I don't even remember. Was Rook just the main female Mandalorian that was on the Death Watch with Maul? Was that just the main female leader? Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. She doesn't have like a ton of screen time or a ton of voice time. And obviously she did do a little bit in obviously the season 5 episodes when Maul takes over Mandalore, and then she went off and did Rebels, and then obviously they brought her back for season 7 of the Clone Wars, and then obviously bringing her back now.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, this is a stacked cast of voices, and so I'm excited to see what they bring, and it just obviously elevates it because it's an animated show, so it's a little bit different. We're not seeing their faces, and I think we've seen it in the MCU with some of the animated projects they've done when they brought the real life actors in to voice them who aren't used to doing voice acting. They've been a bit flat. And so to have all of these people coming in and doing it, I think it's going to make it sound 10 times better. So,
yeah.
So then the rest of this episode, obviously, we kick up a little bit about Brandon Lawson, the cop. To me, I think maybe they did a bit too much of him during the first 2 episodes. They maybe didn't need to do as much, but at the same time, if he's going to be the main sort of guy who's hunting down Maul and the Syndicate, you want a bit of backstory to him, don't you? So, Lub, how are you seeing Brandon Lawson's sort of story so far?
I was waiting for him to see if he had a family or not, because he was at work for like a day straight, and then he goes home for 10 minutes, and his son's like, "Hey, mom said I can come visit," and he's like, "No, don't worry about that." So he's divorced. Somehow kept the kids, so I don't know what mom's up to, but he's very dedicated to his work. It's kind of weird. It's him and a bunch of droids, though. So it's like he's the only one where I guess it kind of makes it so the rest can be cannon fodder, and we can kind of just follow this guy along. But it would be cool if is there another human, or is it just him and all droids?
I mean, there were some knocking around, but it was obviously a lot of security droids, I guess.
Right.
Because they're kind of easier than and if people get shot, it's not a life that you're replacing, it's another robot. So I guess that's kind of more common. But we did see obviously that woman that turned up that told him that he had to get everything under control and find like Vario, that crime lord that got taken, because she had someone above her that was putting pressure on. So It's obvious that he's not just a police chief. He's working for maybe a corporation that like does the policing maybe on that planet.
It's about time to call the Empire, though. I'd say, I think things have gotten a little out of hand for this local cop, and he needs to bring in the big guns. I know it'll suck, and the planet will probably be stripped of its resources afterwards, but
and it seems like Maul has something planned for him. Like he specifically did not kill him. Remember that?
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I just
He
gave him
knocks him in the head.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he kind of notices him on the hollow screens and stuff. So he's gonna play some kind of role.
He needs a good adversary. He's like, I like this guy.
For the story, do you want them to call the Empire? Or do you want them to leave the Empire out?
Well, they're gonna, because I think that's how the Inquisitors show up.
Maybe they just find out on their own and just show up anyways, and they're like extra pissed off at this guy, and
they could do that.
Well, because obviously Lawson doesn't really know who Maul is. Like, he's like, he sees the laser sword and goes, "Haven't seen that since the Clone Wars," even though it's only been a year since the Clone Wars ended. It's not like it's been 20 years and it's a new hope all of a sudden, and they're all a mystery. But at the same point, like, you've got to think that somebody there reports to the Empire. Because whilst the Inquisitors do go out, and there is some literature about they go out searching the planets and stuff like that, when you're looking for someone like Maul, like, you're probably going to get a tip off, because Maul's going to be careful about not putting himself in the view of the Empire. So it seems likely that they're going to get tipped off somehow. Maybe it's someone else at the police station or whatever, or the people that are putting pressure on Lawson above him are the ones that call in the Empire rather than him. And he kind of gets himself caught in the middle of it. But yeah, it's interesting what you said, JD, about the fact that, because I was touching on that in other conversations as well, about the fact that he doesn't get killed by Maul. Like, Maul's taking out all the other security guards, other security personnel in 2 different hallway scenes as well, by the way. So, or should we say Maulway scenes, where he's obviously just taking out people left, right, and centre. So Maul's had 3 of his own hallway scenes now, and I had to correct somebody when they said that they thought that maybe Maul's hallway scenes were better than Vader's Rogue One scene. I was just like, no, we're not even gonna like entertain that as an option. And if anything, his hallway scene in the finale of Clone Wars season 7 was far better when he's escaping the Venator than he were in this particular one. But
it's almost sick, though.
Yeah, it's still good.
The episode 2 was the better one.
Oh, you think? I thought it was actually the slower one out of the 2, and maybe not as interesting.
It was just
a lot
longer.
of exposition. Yeah. It was. I mean, the first one was 30 minutes. The second one was 23 minutes.
Well, I mean, the hallway scene.
Oh yeah. Sorry. But I was just thinking about, in terms of the second episode, was more exposition. It was more setup because it was slower. Yeah. There was obviously some action, but it was just more slower setting things up. He's setting things up with Devon Izara, who's obviously captured, who obviously took her from the police station. And he's going after the Pikes as well, which obviously reunites from Clone Wars as well, Crime Syndicate, in the next episode. So, but yeah, in terms of then, we see a little bit of the interactions between Master, Ikadio, and Devon, who are obviously Jedi Master and Apprentice. And she obviously has already got that sort of thing where she's struggling to survive because she wants to steal food. She's, an apprentice. She's not attuned to everything yet, whereas Master Ikadio is like, we will rely on the kindness of strangers. We're not going to put ourselves out there. We're not going to get ourselves noticed unnecessarily. So is this like a classic JD like battle between Master and Apprentice? Or is it just the fact that they just got to set her up so she has some sort of, darkness or emotion in her that can be tapped into by Maul to try and turn her to the dark side?
I was confused about Devon's character. Are you saying she is the apprentice of that frog dude, or how she's going to become the apprentice of them all? Okay, so yeah, really confused about that, because he was pretty quick to allow herself to just surrender. And, it's not like jail is a fast process. You're going to go to jail. You're going to wait for, your court date, and you're going to have to get sentenced and all this stuff. It's like, why did you just tell her to give herself up? Because they are supposed to be on the good side, right? They're not bad guys. It's not like she's not trying to become a Sith or anything. Oh no, another kid's crying. Sorry. And she also knew Maul. So, do we know anything about that? This is a brand new character, is it not?
I mean, yeah, I think probably Maul's infamous within the Jedi Order at this point, in terms of, obviously, he was the first Sith that they'd seen in, millennia. when he appears in episode in Phantom Menace, and then obviously reappears again in the Clone Wars, and there was a big deal with obviously him taking over Mandalore and Kenobi, and then obviously at the end of the Clone Wars as well. So it's probably the fact that she knows who he is because he's infamous, because he's a Sith, or is, you know, whether he counts as a Sith Lord now or not doesn't really matter, but he's going to be infamous. He's going to be known as a Sith among the Jedi Order, because you imagine they're going to know about the Sith, because they're going to be told about it, they're going to be taught about it in case should they ever stumble across him. So it doesn't really surprise me that she does know who he is, but it's probably just more through infamy than anything else.
All right, and then what was the significance of her breaking out of that jail? Because that felt like her moment, her scene. It seems like she made a decision now. Like, is she going back to Frogman, or did it seem? It almost seemed like
She's
Maul
questioning.
was right.
Well,
Yeah.
the way I interpret it is the fact that obviously, you know, throughout that episode, Maul was saying to her, you know, you can leave at any time you want, but to do it, you've got to tap into your emotions, which is against what the Jedi do, and so therefore to use the power that your emotions give you to break out of this prison. So therefore, if she uses her emotions in a bad way, she's, you know, falling more towards the dark side immediately, and therefore it would be easier for Maul to tap into her and get her to turn rather than her staying like by her Jedi principles. Which again is what we see when she tries to steal the fruit at the start, and her master's like, "No, don't do that, because we've got to sort of keep her head down and sort of live by the Jedi principles." And she's like, "No, I'm hungry. I think we should be able to do this because we've got power." And so therefore she tries to do it and goes against him straight away. So yeah, her doing that, it felt like it was supposed to be a breakout moment for her, but at the same point, it's her giving into her emotions and using them potentially in a bad way that can make it easier for Maul to manipulate her, I think.
But no way Andy's boy, Dave Filoni, has the balls to turn her Sith and keep her Sith, right? You think she kind of, I can see this playing out where she stays with Maul, she kind of goes with his ways, and then at the end she sees that he's wrong and she goes back to her master once Maul kills her master or something like that. I can see the story playing out, but it would be cool if she just like becomes Maul's apprentice in a way, but like also then you'd have to like explain why they're not together anymore in Rebels, but also, it's a long, like 15 years. You know, you could just make a comic book about it later or something.
I mean, the obvious rumor that she's supposed to be like, a new version of the versions of Darth Talon, which obviously she was, someone that came about after the original trilogy in Legends. But just because I think the only reason that they're doing that is because Maul potentially wants to have her as an apprentice, and she's of the same species. So that's the only connection that they've got. So, like, that annoys me a little bit, because I'm like, no, if you're going to do Darth Talon, do it properly in a different time period, perhaps.
Right.
And leave it be on that one. So, but yeah, I don't think Filoni's got the balls here to really turn her to a true apprentice and her to stay with him. And then maybe at some point, they do another book or comic book or show or something like that fills the gap of what happened to her. Presumably, probably killed at some point by the Inquisitors or by Maul, potentially even Vader. That could be a cool way, because we know we're getting more seasons of this. So it's not just a one and done season. Season 2 was announced before the first episode even came out.
That's right.
Because Dave Filoni, of course he's going to do that, because he can't leave his
your
fucking
boy.
characters alone. The guy has commitment issues in the fact that he actually stays with his characters rather than leaving them. That's his issue. So it's no surprise that this story is going to roll on a bit longer than season 1. They're talking potentially 3 to 5 seasons of the show. So
Just go all the way to Rebels.
yeah, fuck it. Yeah, why not? You may as well at this point. You may as well just take it all the way to Solo. Because he's obviously still in charge of criminal syndicates then.
Oh,
yeah. In Rebels, he isn't. So you may as well fucking take it that far, aren't you? Because what's the point?
Give it more
That would be kind of cool, though. Fill the gap. Fill the gap between... Because he lost it all after Revenge of the Sith, and now he's building it back up to where he is in Solo. You do it.
But we don't need to see that. Like, because
it's
he's
just
obviously
a fun little animated show.
Just for fun.
Obviously, whilst he has made an impact, he's in charge of obviously a criminal syndicate at the time of Solo. He's still not had a big enough impact on the Empire and anything that they're doing, because one, he still shits himself at this, the word of Vader, as we see in Rebels. And obviously, the Empire isn't really that concerned about his criminal syndicate, because we've never seen any literature or anything that says that Palpatine cares about them. So obviously, in 15 years, he's not really made much of a dent. So it's He's just sort of kept himself to himself. His plans don't come to fruition, which kind of spoils us a little bit because, like, the plans he's trying to achieve is galactic dominance and to take down Sidious.
Yeah.
Which he mentions, obviously, in the first episode. He talks to Rookcast and goes, the plan is, I've been having visions. The plan is, to take over the galaxy with the criminal syndicate and to take down Sidious.
You never know.
Yeah,
but they're going to completely recanon all of Star Wars. Dave Filoni's now in charge. He's like, I'm retconning all of it. Sidious gets defeated in like the next 5 years by Maul. Maul is then CGI'd onto every Palpatine face throughout the entire Star Wars literature everywhere.
It's Maul versus Ahsoka in the original trilogy. That's what they do. Emperor Maul.
Yeah,
that's a problem. That's kind of a problem with these shows. You just already know what's going to happen, so it's hard to get that invested because you just know where everything goes.
Yeah,
I mean, to be fair, I had the same argument about Andor, in the fact that you'd already had Andor's Endgame. He's at this particular place, and what happens to him at the end of that film. So, how is filling in his backstory with a couple of one or two series of his story going to make that much difference? And Andor turned out to be one of the best things that's happened to Star Wars in recent times. So
good point.
I pulled back my judgment a little bit because these shows can just be enjoyable. Like, it's probably not going to cause more questions than answers, which is something that maybe Bad Batch has done, because everyone's like, what the fuck happened to Bad Batch? Where are they? We see at the end of it, the girl goes off and joins the rebellion. So you're like, where is she now? All these questions about where she is in the original trilogy. Maul's not going to have that issue. Whilst we know his end story, I think this is just fun to fill in the gaps with some good, compelling storytelling and to just add more to the Maul character that's already been enhanced, but by Filoni. So I give Filoni credit there. He did a good job, giving Maul an actual character and an actual personality, which obviously he didn't have in episode 1. At the same time, you're right though, JD. This story isn't going to be massively affecting the Star Wars universe. It's not going to rewrite history inside the Star Wars universe because we know how it already goes.
And you're right. That's a good way to look at it to enjoy it as well.
Yeah,
yes.
I like it.
So, I mean, Lud, where do you see this season going? We already know we're getting the Inquisitors coming in. Obviously, the heavy rumors out a potential Vader cameo towards the end, possibly even an Ahsoka cameo as well. Although that's unlikely now because all of
Filoni's action figures.
Yeah, of course. Why not? He'll throw them all in for the fucking sake of it. I mean, it's unlikely now that we'll see Ahsoka simply because they've done the end of the Clone Wars. I think it was because when they saw them in Rebels and they said, "Oh, the last time I saw you, Ahsoka, you were running away." And so
season 7 now makes it.
Yeah, that's sorted that issue out. So less likely, but she was still a name that got banded around. But so what are you wanting to see from the rest of the season? Because like I said, we're getting the Inquisitors. Do you want to see Vader? Do you not want to see Vader? Where do you see Maul being by the end of the season?
Well, I want to see Maul have an opposition that actually stands up to him, because in these first 2 episodes, he's just mowing down everybody. That Pike he killed at the end was pretty sick, though, when he force grips him against the wall and then chops him in half on his way down. But yeah, the Inquisitors will be cool. Merrick's supposed to come in soon. I would like to see Vader, and I would like to see what's her name, the girl, Devin. I like to see her be his apprentice for a little bit. I like to see her try that out, see how it goes. And you got the Yoda look-alike on the other side, doing his thing. Secretly powerful, small Jedi. But I'm very interested in the show. 2 episodes a week is also cool. So we get a little more action, get like a full, 45, 50 minutes a week. So I'm excited.
What about you, JD?
Yeah, I really want to see him continue to manipulate the multiple syndicates, because that was really cool how he put Demas and Vario against each other. I thought that was awesome, and I want to see more of that play out. I like to think that the ending this show is like, how does he really get control of all the criminal empires? So I do want to see all that, because correct me if I'm wrong, you guys more in tune with the Clone War stuff. Is this? Oh no, they already said it in the show. So he already was the criminal, mastermind.
This is post Revenge of the Sith. Yeah.
That brought all them together. Then he lost it. And now Krim has it all right now. Mm-hmm. So I guess he's going to try to get it back. And I think that's a cool thing to do with this show. A cool story to tell with Maul. taking over the criminal empire again. And I would love to see Vader, of course. I would never not want to see Vader. He's my boy. So you throw Vader in there, I'm going to be happy.
I think this is the only show I've ever said that I don't want to see Vader in.
Maul and Vader never faced off. Come on.
Yeah, I know, and there's a reason for that, because Vader would kick his fucking ass all over the place.
It'd be closer than you think.
No, it wouldn't, trust me. Because I had this breakdown with Clan Brandalorian when I was on his episode, because I'm doing that every week with him while the show's on. And there are only 2 times when Maul has faced other lightsaber holders and won. Apart from that, he lost every battle he's ever had with another lightsaber holder. So he beat Qui-Gon, but then obviously loses straight away to Obi-Wan. And then throughout the Clone Wars, he has various face-offs with Kenobi. And with obviously, he does beat him sometimes, but he had the help of Savage. So in terms of one-on-ones, he beats, obviously, Vizsla, but Vizsla isn't a Force user. So you can say he probably should have done that. He gets beaten by Sidious. He gets beaten by Dooku. He gets beaten by Ahsoka. He then obviously beats the Inquisitors in Rebels, but gets beaten by Kanan. He gets beaten by Ezra in Rebels as well, and then gets killed by Obi-Wan at the end of it. So his ratio of win to losses in lightsaber fights is not good, and he's never faced anyone, apart from Sidious, he's never faced anyone as powerful as Vader. So
He's putting people over. He's doing his job. He's making the Jedi look
you
good.
can't convince me in this lab. You can put your weak-ass argument out there all you want. He would not beat Vader. And that's, I mean...
No, he wouldn't be Vader.
There is maybe one point when they do come up against together, because obviously in that, in the Rebels, Twilight of the Apprentice episodes, he talks about how he knows Vader's powerful and he can't take him on his own. So there must be an occasion where they do cross paths.
Yeah.
But I would maybe want that later, like put that in season 2 or 3 of this. Like let him just have the Inquisitors in this one. And then maybe like it's one of the ways that they end the show is just he runs away with his tail between his legs to his criminal syndicate because Vader pops up after the Inquisitors have failed him. And he just goes for him, and like Maul escapes with his fucking just a scrape of his life at the bottom of it because Vader would whoop him.
If that chick from Jedi Fallen or Jedi Survivor, what's her name? With the
Jedi Survivor,
the lady who fights Vader at the end, she
Oh,
held her
Seer.
own. Seer. That's about the same timeline, same year. She held her own against Vader for a couple minutes, so Maul could do it.
No, I mean you said she held it for a couple of minutes,
And then she died.
I mean the first attempt he threw her off a ledge. So, and she made it back as a surprise attack, and still, if it had gone on any longer, he would have overpowered her. So, you can still make arguments all your loved ones, because I'm going to bat them the fuck out of here.
They're straw man.
But yeah, so I mean, this is going to be an interesting series. I'm excited to see where it goes. I'm happy to see obviously more Star Wars in general, even if it is a regurgitation of the same character rather than anything new. It's not going to be breaking any new ground. It's just there for pure excitement. Like JD said at the start, like the horror vibe to this is quite cool. It seems like being a lot more savage with like him taking down people or droids or whatever than they have maybe been in previous shows, even though they say Clone Wars is for kids. Too much death in it to be for kids, really. And we see a lot of people die, and this is going to be no different. So I'm excited for this. Rotten Tomatoes gave this 100%.
Whoa!
I know that. And IMDb gave it 8.5 out of 10 for the first 2 episodes.
Lamar.
I think 100% is wild. It's absolutely wild. Like the first episode to me was better than the second, but I know it's early doors. But where would you guys rate this at the moment out of 10 for the first couple of episodes?
I mean,
Any
what did they
potential?
rate like Clone Wars season 7 finale? That wasn't even 100, and that's like twice as good as what this is. Like, it's good. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, it's.
I'd rate it like a
it's-
7, probably
If
7
it's
out of
Rotten
10.
Tomatoes, that just means 100% of people liked it, right? It's not like it's
No,
got
no.
100% out of 100.
No, 100%. Right? Yeah, it's one.
Of people liked it though, right?
Yeah,
It's not like
100% of
one-
the people. It's not everyone rated it 100%. It's 100% of the people that said they liked it. It's not that every
Yeah.
person that went on there gave it 100%. So it's that
Right.
all of them went on there and said that they liked it. Yeah, the opening episode of Maul is one of the highest ranked individual Star Wars episodes of all time currently. I don't think it should be that high, but that's what it is at the moment. I think is it more good people start to watch it, and as the series goes on, that will drop down. I don't think it will stay that high. But right now,
Breaking Bad will
everyone
come
says
in.
it's got promise. Breaking.
And Breaking Bad fans will come in and review bomb.
Yeah, probably.
But no, this show reminds me if Star Wars Outlaws had Maul as the main character going against the Pikes and the Hutts, that would be
Dude.
such a sick game. Maul could be the
Dude.
perfect person for a video game.
Yeah.
Going against the
I
crime
agree.
syndicate instead of this random chick with a robot friend. Like, give us something good.
That'd
Damn
be
it.
awesome.
Actually, that's a really good call. To be fair, absolutely 100% agree on that. Yeah, I don't know why they didn't think about that when you've got Maul and the crime syndicates. Like, yeah, you absolutely
there.
could have done that.
Anyways.
But I think that pretty much wraps it up for our Maul coverage for this week. You'll probably likely see Maul attached to Week in Geeks moving forward rather than standalone episodes, unless it happens to be something particularly epic, simply because we have got so much going on at the moment. I mean, this is my 6th recording in the last 5 days because we've got so much going on. Obviously, I've been guesting on other shows, as well as we did a double episode the other day of The Boys and Daredevil back to back. And so we've got that going on for the next month. So we've got more going on. We're doing some comic book reviews as well as we get closer to Secret Wars. We've got Supergirl on the way as well, haven't we, JD? As well as, if we can maybe fit it in, we might do Welcome Back Frank Punisher comic review before the special drops. I'm not sure if we'll have time, but we've got so much to fit in. It's unreal. Because we've all got families and a life apart from Lub, so maybe Lub should start reading.
I can't.
He can't read,
Oh, no.
that's the issue. But as always, keep up to date on what we're going to be covering, because you can find us on Instagram, TikTok. I was going to say Twitch then. That's wrong. I'm used to saying Twitch on my old show. Sorry. Instagram, TikTok, X, YouTube. You can find episodes dropping every Tuesday that we've done live on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, everywhere else. JD, just remind me quickly, is it Panabound Comics if you use the code WhySoCity so you can get yourself a little discount?
Absolutely, yes.
So if you want to treat yourself to some comic books at the moment of everything that's going on, get over to Panabound Comics, use the code WhySoCities, get yourself a cheeky little discount and cash in on that as well. So WhySoCities is here not just to give you the nerd news, not just to review your favourite episodes, not just to review your favourite comics, but to help you and give you a discount as well. And then you can use that money that you saved and head over to the WhySoCities merch website, and you can then get yourself a cheeky t-shirt, a cup, a mug, a hoodie, whatever you want. Everything's here. WhySoCities is here to serve all of it. Okay, but thank you very much for joining us. You'll catch us very soon again on WhySoCities and